a whole lot of things are happening in the trading world this week. Market opening, a lot of things are happening, right? So I want to give you like in depth what is gonna happen next before the week comes to an end. I- I'm supposed to bring you guys like market updates Monday there about something like that. But life happen, things happen. So just take it easy. The reason why I want to bring you guys update midweek is because of some things that happened Monday. I just don't want to let it go because people need to understand what is really happening, right? Without much time wasted, I want us to quickly go. I want us to quickly go into the chart and understand what is happening right now on the market. So now this is BTC USDT or BTC USD. Sorry, it's the same thing. There's no difference between USDT and USD. It's just the same thing. Probably like literally, it's the same thing. One is fiat currency. One is a stable coin. So that's it. But probably it's just representing the same thing when you're analyzing this price. You understand? So daily time frame. Now let me take it to the weekly time frame. See what is happening on Bitcoin. Is it history is going to repeat itself over and over again? That is what the market does. It might not be the same way perfectly uh, what it did in the past, but similarly, you know, you could see some similarities in the patterns. You could even see that what has happened here is probably the same thing that want to happen here. Can you see that, right? But we are anticipating a bullish momentum, a bullish move to happen on BTC, right? But I tell you for a fact, the kind of things that I'm seeing right now, it's likely that Bitcoin in a higher time frame or kind of short term, long term stuff, um, Bitcoin is gonna drop before going up like this. But if I'm supposed to tell you like my sentiment on Bitcoin, then I want it to really go haywire like to 120k ASAP like this before dropping like that and then continue further, right? But I mean, we've come to the previous all-time high, which was around 110,000 in the past like this. Let me go to the monthly so we see it clearly. The weekly we just do. So you see that we are still in that current time frame, like the previous all-time high came to what, 110, 111 thereabout. Yep. And now it's dancing around that same area. What can probably happen? What I don't like about Bitcoin is the last bullish candle that closed. It hasn't closed healthy. Like it's not too healthy in my opinion. It's not healthy at all. Look at this candle, right? If it was a bullish candle like this, big bullish close, it was gonna be like a massive push to 120k that I predicted, right? But it wasn't healthy. So the next candle that is also forming is not really healthy. So I'm just anticipating that if this candle stay close bearish, then the next candle that is going to close will probably be bearish and it will drop the market to the downside here, maybe 105k. Then if bullish momentum will still continue, then we'll see something like this. That's what I can say about Bitcoin now. If I go on the daily, it's the same thing. On the daily, nothing is happening crazily. 4H, I anticipated this buys that is happening currently in the 4H because there's a strong base right here. There's a strong base. Market dropped massively into this zone, went up again, dropped into it again. What is happening? There's a strong base, right? So that's it. Bitcoin is likely to come back up again to these areas 110, but I cannot boldly say that this move is going to go up to 120k, right? But that is what I want to happen. Yeah. So that's all I'm going to say on Bitcoin. If you ask me my bias is bias on Bitcoin. My bias is bias on Bitcoin. My bias is bias on Bitcoin, but I'm not so convinced about the 120k. But some short-term buys. Yeah. Let's go to UJ. When the market opened Monday, is crazy. You know, I told some of my trading guys around. I told them, look, if the market opens and we see volatility like crazy like this, it is one thing that is going to happen, or it's two things. That volatility, bullish momentum that is we saw here. The market last week was around here before the market closed, open, and then look what happened. And I told them, look, there are two things that are going to happen: either a pullback or the market will just continue going. We didn't even have the pullback; the market is just going up. What can you do about this? Buy to the very last resistance, to the previous major resistance. That's what the market wants to do right now. That's what the market wants to do right now. But the market is kind of gone already. Like, it's crazy. I mean, this one, it should have prioritized the smaller time frames. The market is gone. Sometimes it's painful and crazy. Sometimes the market is already gone. Look at the 1 hour. So that is why the smaller time frames is important too, because sometimes you'll be waiting for higher time frame confirmation before it happens. You see, the thing about smaller and higher time frame, it is a thing that you need to balance in your strategy as a trader, because higher time frame, is important, but lower time frames like the 1 hour, 50 minutes, or 30 minutes, in some cases are very much important that you need to prioritize. Like continuation, like this. When the market you are anticipating a continuation and you are waiting for 4 hour close, you are crazy. I mean, you need to go to the smaller time frames and rather prioritize that time frame. Look what happened already. If somebody have taking their trades even upon this candle, I mean, this candle have broken the structure completely. Stop losses around here. By now the person will be just enjoying some profit right now. Entry here is a late entry, but I don't know, then it means that your stop loss will just rather be below here. That is almost 100 pips or 85 thereabout pips. Then your target here is just gonna be a 1:1 nonsense or something like that. It's too freaking. Or else your stop is rather gonna be tighter like this, and then you anticipate a bullish move to the top. If you have balls, you can go in for this trade because of late entry, but then you just have to be careful of the stops, right? Now let's look at gold, and that will be all for this one. Let's look at gold. SAU-USD. That will be good. Okay. Gold is now selling. Gold is now selling. Okay. Let's see something in the 4 hour. I don't have markups on gold. I took it off my watch list because of correlation, right? So correlation with other pairs. You see the move? That was a perfect move for last week, or is it last 2 weeks? I don't know. Yeah, last week. Then you see what happened? Chopping market like this. Chopping market like this. Chopping market like this. What I'm anticipating to happen on gold is I can see like an inverse head and shoulder, and I'll just blow your mind. If you draw this line here, you could even see yourself, see what is happening here. So unless market breaks off like this, then it will continue going down if it breaks off like that. But if we don't see any crazy candle like that, then I anticipate that gold is going to just go up like this. That's what you should anticipate on gold. That's what you should anticipate on gold. Let me do something with UJ. Where is UJ going? That's what I told you guys. The previous resistance is where UJ is going. Here, up here. And if the bodies that is forming will continue in that manner, UJ is going there and will get there. That's the truth. UJ is going there and will get there. So that's the market outlook that I have for you guys. Let me do for NAS 100, NAS 100. Okay, I think the choppiness has come down a bit. Like it has changed the character in regards to choppiness. NAS barely moves like this. So the market really changed indeed. Like, cause NAS is making bullish momentum or having bullish momentum, but the candles, look at this choppy stuff happening here. Unless you are a scalper and maybe you have taken advantage of this move from here to here, then it's just choppy here, like crazy choppiness, 4 hour choppiness. Unless you are a scalper or an intraday, like a day trader, you don't hold your trades over 24 hours, then so you can only prioritize the 1 hour, the 30 minutes, and all of that. Just look what is happening here. A whole bunch of crazy stuff. This is a head and shoulder. This thing could crash down a little bit to the downside here. Yeah, something like here. So maybe something like this is supposed to happen. Then we go back up again with NAS 100. Yeah. Yeah, so that's it on NAS 100. My name is Shoda Nixon. Make sure to subscribe, share, like this video. I'm out.